Okay.
The best way to do this is just to completely ignore mom and let her film and don't even act like you're on camera.
Yeah, Daniel, slide Grandma's chair a little bit more in towards you.
Do you want me to slide me towards her?
Whichever. It doesn't matter, but I don't like the big gap there.
That's not that big of a gap.
Okay. Yeah, but for talking...
You could be snuggling.
Yeah, this is better. Okay, no, this is actually perfect. Okay, you ready?
Hi, Grandma. I'm here tonight to tell you just a little bit about why I love you so much.
Hi, Grandma. It's Jamie. Obviously, it's me.
Can you just talk real quick?
Yeah. First resonance check, second reverberation check, third voice check, fourth voice check.
Oh, Lewis, you're gonna whine all these background noises, dog in the background.
Good evening, Grandma.
Okay, so one of the biggest things, of course, low battery, 20%.
Right?
Yeah, I'm ready. This or
Yeah. Well,
any?
My hair looks nice.
If you've ever like, is that the better side of your head? Do you want?
Do I have a bad side?
No. You can start whenever.
So, Grandma, this is from the bottom of my heart. Took quite a while actually writing this just to make sure it was true.
I remember times when I was really little, couldn't even put an age on it, but getting to go over to your house right before Christmas and baking sugar cookies. And maybe the reason why I cannot successfully make a batch of sugar cookies anymore is because I haven't done it with you and the rest of your grandkids. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that got that treatment, but it just made me feel so special and extra loved. And something else that is remarkable about you, Grandma, is no matter what circumstances there's been in life, I don't remember like ever a time where you were upset or disappointed, and times when you could have been and maybe rightly should have been. You still choose joy, and not just to be a happy person, but to genuinely choose joy and to have a smile that can't just be plastered on your face, but can only come from your heart. So, Grandma, I love you so much for being an amazing example to me as a woman, as a strong woman, as a loving wife and mother and grandmother, and someone who gives so much of herself. Grandma, I'm so happy to be carrying on a part of the Kowalczyk family and the Ernst family, basically to be your legacy.
Well, for one thing, she was the first granddaughter I had. Of course, that was really special. But the thing that was different, I can remember, because they named her Brett. And then when Grandpa and I would talk about it, Grandpa would say, "What is this? We have a granddaughter and she has a boy's name. What's going on? Is the world changing or what?" You know, so anyway, so that was one of the things that I remember. And then, and of course I would, you know, when she got older and stuff, I would babysit her. And then when Carrie was working for Grandpa, then I would leave work early and pick her up. And then they would come and eat dinner with us because I'd have dinner ready. So I got to know Brett real soon. And then I remember, I think Brett was probably 2, maybe, and Sally and I were out shopping for Christmas. And we come across this little dress, and it had a polka dotted skirt. It was black with red polka dots, and it had a crinoline under it. And I said, "Oh, that's gonna be just perfect for Brett for Christmas. And so we got it for her, and she just looked adorable in it, you know, teetering around and stuff. And now she's grown up and married,
Oh, yeah.
and time flies. So now she's, you know, gotten into engineering, and she's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
She's growing up a very young, respectful lady, loves the Lord. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
One down, 10 more to go.
mhm. One more, 10 more to go.
When I think about all the things that I love about you, and I guess the first thing when I think about growing up at your house and all the days around the pool and out in the pine forest and at the cabin, I think I had just such a great childhood. And obviously you and Grandpa were a huge part of that. I'm not reading this very well. Another thing I think about is that I got to live with you. And I think I'm the only grandkid that can say that. And I just want to say thank you, because I got to have some special times with Grandpa that I wouldn't have been able to have leading up to his passing. And watching you through that time with Grandpa, I just got to see your strength and your just constant love, and it wasn't easy, and you stuck with it, and it's, you know, letting me live there at that time was just another example of your generosity. And I was going to college for something that I really wanted, and so I'm just thankful because you helped me achieve my dream of becoming a music teacher. And so now, you know, any of the lives that I touch are in some ways credited back to you.
Who's next? Jamie?
Jamie. Well, Jamie was very special. She was the first, you know, the second granddaughter, and she was just very special and very, always tiny. And then she grew up and went to college, stayed with us, and I enjoyed that. When she stayed with us, it was like having another daughter. I was very happy to have her, and she was always such a young lady and cared about everybody, you know. Worried about you, her brothers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What do you think of Jamie being a mom now?
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It's great. It's great to know that, like, the family is extended.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I'm happy for. You know, even though they're having girls, you know, it's just good to know that, you know, they have a wonderful family, and now they're starting their own families.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the tradition follows on down.
So, moving on to who's next? Would it be Nick? Nick is older, right? You know better than I do. So,
Yep, Nick was next.
So,
Man, where do I start? Things I'm always going to remember, cherish, and love about Grandma Kowalczyk. How do you sum that up? I remember coming back, I was at Rivertown Mall, walked around Rivertown Mall a little bit by myself, and then I went back to your house because it was close. And I just remember being able to drive from Rivertown and go back to Grandma's because I knew I was just going to be able to walk in, and just talk to her. It was shortly after Grandpa had passed away, because he passed away in November, and this was getting close to Christmas. And we were all gearing up for Christmas, but Christmas without Grandpa. And I just remember not really being in the Christmas spirit that year. After having walked around Rivertown, I couldn't find anything to really buy anybody. And I just drove to your house, and I walked in the kitchen, and I just stood there. And you came in, and I leaned on the butcher block. I just remember being able to comfortably tell you, you know, I just really miss Grandpa. You know, it not being a month yet since he had been gone, and both of us just kind of standing there and having a good cry together. And I'll always miss and love the comfort I felt that night. Being able to walk in from the cold and the kitchen being so warm, and you coming in and immediately asking me, you know, what's wrong? And me just being able to tell you, and us being able to uplift each other a little bit. And I'm always going to love you and cherish every little part of that.
He was just very energetic. As a baby, he was adorable, you know. And I know your mom and dad were just, so pleased because they had this boy. But I can remember once he started walking, and he would come, when they'd come to visit, they'd come up on the deck, and he would push that kitchen door open, both hands, and come in stumbling and tripping and running, and hi Grandma, right on straight through the kitchen, into the living room, straight through, happy as a lark. He'd be always trotting somewheres, but he could trip and fall and not even pay attention. Get up, keep right on going. Didn't matter if he tripped over somebody's great big boots or what. You know, it was just hilarious. I said he's like a little elephant coming to the world. And then when he graduated and decided to go in the service, I said, well, I know he doesn't want to go to college, so this is a good place for him right now. You know, till you decide what you really wanted to do. So, yeah. And I think he must have been happy there because he, stayed longer than what he anticipated.
Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah.
I thought I would read you a prayer that I wrote when you had to sell your house. So this is from April 7th of 2014. And it says, "Dear God, thank you for blessing me with Grandma Kay and her blue house. I never imagined I would have to let this blessing go. I can spend hours thinking about all the reasons I love that house. Thank you for the sun on the driveway, hot bricks to dry off on, the plush grass to fall asleep on, and the most tried and true tanning chairs. Thank you for the magic of Christmas. Thank you for the gifts. The most thoughtful, well-planned, perfectly styled gifts. The anticipation, the fashion shows, a reason to dress up and feeling girly, the perfect Christmas china and the bats and the stories they created, the longest living mob dog on the block. Thank you for the den and the fire and the one-of-a-kind volcanic rock mantle. The den meant family time. It meant rest. It meant warmth and back rubs. It is the most gentle, peaceful, redeeming room in my memory. The first time I smelled the fireplace in the fall always reminded me of Grandpa. It is a strong, comforting thing, and I love knowing it meant Grandma was in her chair listening to the crackle of the fireplace, and thank you for it. It is hard to imagine a summer without the pool or a stranger stoking the fire in the den next winter. It hurts to say goodbye to a home that is as much a part of me as my own home, if not more. It's even more painful to know that my grandma will never live right next door again. But I trust you. You knew this plan for Grandma and our family from the start. Your plan is perfect, and it is good. I want you to know that in addition to your generosity, your strength, and your resolve to always keep smiling, you've taught me what it means to always honor and respect your husband. I realized recently that in all your reflections of your life with Grandpa, I've never heard you utter one bad word about him. I'm certain he wasn't perfect, since we are all broken sinners. But you show your love and respect for him by assuming the best of him and reflecting on his best. You and Grandpa are and always will be a gift to our family.
Yep, second one of the Johnsons. Audrey was a cute little baby and had a ton of hair when she was born.
Jonah does too.
I know it, but you should have seen Audrey's. But they came over, carried her over to the house because they were giving her a bath, and they had soap in her hair, and her hair was long, so they put it on top of her head and made this curl. And they said, "Mom, Dad," and so we're in the kitchen when they come in, and here's Audrey with this great big curl on top of her head and stuff. And it was so funny because here she was such a baby, and to have that much hair. And another thing, had to buy more pink stuff. She
More
was
girl
a new
clothes.
little girl. Yeah.
Couldn't just give her Brett's hand-me-downs?
No, she had to have her own. Everybody had to have their own. I think Audrey, she's more, I think, calmer and settled in nature, her inward self.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't look for a lot of material things to base her life on. She enjoys family and family get-togethers. Her and Xavier, I think they're meant for each other. I really do. I think one complements the other in their life. Yep. And now with the baby, it's just wonderful to see how their lives have matured, from childhood and where they're at now. And, it's just such a blessing to see everyone.
I just want to take a minute to say that I love how you are such a hard worker. I really value hard work. I know I get it from my mom and my dad, but just thinking of you always putzing around in your garden and next to the pool whenever we'd come over and swim. That's one thing I definitely want to instill in my children is this spirit of hard work. I love that you're wise. A lot of people are quick to give advice, but you take the time to listen first, and it's just a very good quality to be like a quiet observer that can then speak a lot of wisdom. One of my favorite childhood memories is coming over, I don't know if it was probably during a weekday because we were in school, but on a weekday or Friday, and swimming all day, being so tired, and then being able to then sleep over with either cousins or just my brothers. I remember sleeping up in that front room and watching the sunset over the golf course and just hearing the summer crickets start chirping, and then crawling into those cozy beds. And then what's even better is you'd come in with those long nails ears and give Jared and I these nice head rubs and back scratches, and that would put us right to sleep for sure. To this day, if I can't get to sleep, I start thinking of memories like that, and it makes me relax real quick. Most of all, though, I appreciate how loving you are. Well, seeing how loving you were to Grandpa in a lot of ways, and loving to obviously your grandkids and your daughters. Just, kind of a quiet love, and that made you feel at home and at peace, and it just also spoke to your relationship with God, and that you trust Him, and have that's where your feet are planted, and so
He was a cute little shy little boy. Even as a little boy, he was always more quiet. And, you know, seemed happy, but he was just, you know, not rambunctious or excitable. He was just more content, yeah, and in his own little world, you know. But you could tell when you talked to him, he would get this smile, but it was like a shy or mischievous smile, and his eyes were always alive, and it's like I just want to bust out with something. But he observed. He, you know, if you were sitting, you know, like a Christmas or whatever, holidays or dinners or out by the pool or anything. I mean, Ryan could be around there and be playing, but he was always very quiet. Or if he was sitting listening, it was like, now I know why he's quiet. He takes everything in.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He took everything in. So, of course, he's grown up and married happily, and now he's like bursting out at the seams, especially when he has music to dance with. Well, and I almost think it started at Jamie's wedding. When you guys put that skit on for Jamie's wedding, I think that's what started it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then with him being married, I think he's just, I don't know, very happily married.
Oh yeah.
And, oh yeah, he's giving music and there's a party.
What? Babe, do you know how easy it is to edit stuff? It's like all this I'm saying right now is literally going to get cut off and forgotten. One of the biggest things I remember about you, Grandma, is the one time you took me out for my 13th birthday. And the thing that kicked it off to make it super special was that Grandpa wanted to come along, but we didn't allow him to come along. I was kind of like, yeah, let's bring him along. But then eventually he didn't come along, and then we got in the car and you explained to me, if Grandpa came along, he would just get bored real fast and then he would be no fun at all, and we're out to have fun. And that made it super special to me because I was like, right, we're out to have fun. And it really, all the times you took us out for birthdays, really taught me the importance of quality time and gift giving. And even though you gave us many presents during our birthdays and many presents during Christmases and cooked for us, it was just the heart of it that really mattered. Those gifts would have been meaningless had it been from anybody else, but since it was from you, and the heart and the care and the love that you put into it, in decorating and wrapping and even making meals, I mean, just amazing meals. I can't think of specific food, but I know it was good. I remember one time we went fishing somewhere and we couldn't catch fish for the life of us. Yeah, Grandpa took us out to the pier. We were supposed to catch salmon that day, and we didn't really catch anything. So Grandpa decided to take us to Uncle Greg's pond instead. Debarbed our hooks, but he basically, whatever we threw in, the fish were biting. We could probably put a hook on a stick and they would have eaten it, just because it was a stocked pond. So that was always fun, hanging out with Grandpa doing that. But just the love and the care that you and Grandpa gave us just really made coming over to your place very special, hanging out at the pool, even helping out. We knew helping you out in the long run, one was making us more into adults, spraying the wood chips, but it really came from the heart of wanting to help you out because you were so willing to be open and willing to give to us. So just really love you and miss you, but definitely excited for you to meet our your new great grandson or granddaughter. It's gonna be a grandchild. We haven't figured out the gender of it yet, but we're really looking forward to bringing your new great grandchild to meet you, and love you and miss you, and definitely looking forward to the next time we get to see you.
When you were young, and I was rocking you and giving you a bottle, and I was singing, you know, the songs that I would sing to them. And Tyler come in and he was standing on the right side of me. I'm just standing there and I'm singing, I can't remember which song it was, but he said, "Grandma." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's my song. You can't sing that to him." And I said, "Oh, this is your song?" "Yeah." And he said, I said, "Well, this is your brother." I said, "I think he likes it too." And then he walked away. But I thought that was so, "Grandma, that's my song." And he said it just that way.
That they do.
I think the care and concern that he has for family, you know, the connection with family will always be there. Like, you know, sometimes when they get teenagers, or especially when they get married and move away, there might be, there's always that distance, but there's still the what do I want to say, the heart-to-heart connection, you know, with family. And I'm sure, you know, like we all pray for each other, and I'm sure Tyler prays for everyone, you know. And and he's, you know, he's happy in his married life, and I think they'll go a long ways, and it'll be interesting to see him carrying a little baby, because he just, to me, it's like he seems too young to be having a child, but you know, who knows what the age limit is, you know, but I'm sure they'll make wonderful parents. Yeah.
I'll be reading off my phone a little bit, but it's because I haven't memorized it. I'm good, but not that good. Kind of jumbled my thoughts, but that's what my heart feels, and it's what my mind feels. It's what I've known and learned from you, and so I'm trying to express that in the best way I can. Graham, almost every day I think back to the days I would spend nights at your house. The mornings I'd wake up, you'd be making me breakfast, eggs and pancakes, or eggs and bacon. And I'd get to eat breakfast with you and drink a little coffee before I'd head out to school or to work, and then I'd come back and spend the rest of the weekend with you. I really miss those days, Grandma. Every time I think of those days, it brings a smile on my face. I miss spending time with you and talking to you before I go to bed and when I wake up, or when I'm home from work early or home from school. I gained a lot of knowledge from you. I learned a lot, more than I can ever put in writing. I know I don't talk to you as much as I'd like. You know, life's busy right now, and with the wedding planning and going to school next year and work. But I think of you every single day. Whether I see a well-groomed flower garden, or if I hear food cooking or smell the food cooking, it brings me back to the time and days I spent with you. Like when we went to the cabin and went up there together, and we got stuck in a snow ditch and we had to dig out, and the guy pulled us out, and you're quite the driver, Grandma, spinning out on that icy road. It may not seem like it, but you have influenced me in more ways than I can express. From the way I treat others, to the way I spend time with the Lord, to the way I put a smile on my face even when I don't feel like it, or when someone doesn't make me feel like it. Thank you for all that you've done for me, and the ways that you've helped me grow, Grandma. That's the most important point. You made me grow and helped me grow into the young man I am. The things that I've learned from you, the work ethics and the love and the laughter, and just how to treat those around me.
Jared was always picking things up. If it was a stone or a screw or something, he would pick it up. And even in the kitchen, like I had a drawer with a bunch of junk in it, and he'd go through that and he'd pick things out and he'd say, "Grandma, do you mind if I take these home?" And I'd say, "No, go ahead, I don't need them." After a while, when he'd do that, and he'd take something, so that Lori would say, "No, Jared, you don't need to take those home. You got enough stuff you're keeping." I'd say, "Oh, let him take them." And then maybe they'd go out to the car, and I'd say, "Here, take these home with you."
Sneak them into it.
So I'd give it, you know.
Contraband.
Like,
There's that contraband.
Jared's sitting there like this the whole way home.
Looking guilty.
I loved the cabin. He enjoyed Grandpa and the woods. You know, it's like, man, get him in the woods, and he was happy. Get him by the pond, and he was happy at the cabin. You know, and then the one Thanksgiving, well, you'd been out looking for crawdads, and so then after dinner, you go out, all of you, and you're looking for crawdads. So anyway, you brought in this bucket, and you had so many crawdads in it, and you wanted to know, Jared wanted to cook them. And I thought, cook them? I looked in the bucket, and I thought, you're going to cook those little things? And he said, yeah. And he said, we're going to eat them. And I thought, what are they going to eat on them? They're so small. But I said, sure. How do you cook them? And he said, well, we'll just put them in water and cook them. I said, okay. No, they don't need to cook them. And I said, oh, what the heck? Let them have fun. So you all cooked the crawdads. Took them over to the table when they were all cooked, and you all cleaned these teeny tiny crawdads to get this little bit of meat out of.
I don't think it was.
He could live off the land.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't matter if he had a pillow and a sleeping bag and maybe some sandwiches. It's like, hey, I'm perfectly happy out here. I'm perfectly happy. If I got a bonfire, a few sticks, that's all I need in life, you know?
I think probably one of my favorite things growing up was when we used to be able to do Meals on Wheels with Grandma. So back when she would pick basically her buddy for the day, and we would be able to go, just feeling special that we got one-on-one time with her frequently was something that I think a lot of people don't necessarily get to have. And then she always made a point to take us aside, like whether we were all together and things like that, doing big holiday traditions, but also especially like on our birthdays and stuff, she made it a point to make sure that we felt special. What I love about Grandma is that she has always supported us no matter what, and I think that there's never really been a moment in my life or throughout growing up or anything like that where I doubted that she would be there for us, whether that was spoiling us on our birthdays or like if we needed a cup of sugar or something next door. And that has always been something that I really appreciated about being a member of her family. Another thing that I really love about Grandma is that we have always been taught how to cherish our family and to value one another. She's instilled a lot of family values that have made growing up really memorable. And also created a family in which I've got extra brothers and sisters instead of just cousins, and that's something, preparing meals around tables and celebrating holidays and traditions and things like that together, that I really want to carry on as a mom, hopefully, and potentially a grandma or a wife, things like that. As far as who she is as a person, I just have always thought that Grandma is so vibrant. She's so giving of herself, and we say again and again how much Grandma has taught us about how to be a servant, and those are things that I really want to embody as I continue to grow older and eventually like have a home for myself. Just always being willing to host and support people and love on them through meals and gifts and things. I think one of my favorite memories is probably when we had our sleepover there. We were all a little bit older, and I don't know if it was our last Christmas that we knew we were going to have there, or if it was the last Christmas where we were all going to be together. But the fact that in our teenage years, or when some of our older cousins were in their 20s, they still, all of us wanted to gather on the living room floor under the Christmas lights and spend time together. That just goes to show how much what her and Grandpa did was really important to all of us.
Shanna ended up having a sight issue problem with her eyes. So then she ended up having glasses, I think when she was like 2.
Mm-hmm.
10 months. Real tiny.
Okay, kitchen voice.
And anyway, and she had little tiny glasses. And she was always taking them off.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, Carrie and Cal always had trouble finding them. Wait, then one year for Christmas, I was getting the girls' dolls. And I found this doll and it had glasses. And I thought, oh, this is a perfect doll for Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see dolls with glasses very often. So I got her the doll with glasses. Shanna was always, what do I want to say? A child with determination and very positive in what she did. And she liked to be in control. She had a big heart and was a sweet person.
Mm-hmm.
But she's always had a very strong feeling. I always, well, when she was a teenager and stuff, and going to high school and that, and I thought, she'll be a judge or a politician or an attorney or something. But I felt she'd make a good judge because she was so precise,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and she always had a lot of knowledge. She did a lot of reading, you know, so I think through her reading skills, she learned so much. And anyway, and I just felt that she's gonna be in some high up position,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and be in control. I mean, that's just her personality.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, she's having her struggles right now, you know, but, you know, it's only been a few weeks that she's been into teaching. And with this, you know, the age group, that's a hard age group to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And then having the students from a lower income, so they probably, a good share of them haven't had any structure in their life. So with her taking on all this, she'll be able to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grandma, you are what holds this family together. You created our family traditions and you help keep them. You bring so much love, so much life, and so much wisdom to this family. Growing up with you 2 doors down was a blessing that I definitely took for granted, and a season of life I will never forget. Your gardens were a fairyland, your woods were an adventure waiting to happen and a fort waiting to be built. Your home was a safe haven, a place to seek and to find rest, and homemade pies, of course. Your character is one defined by strength, wisdom, and servanthood. The way you have served this family has been humbling to see. You are constantly seeking opportunities to give to your children and your grandchildren, whether that be with your time, gifts, food, or pie lessons. You find a way to be selfless. The way you have so silently but fiercely fought this disease is something I will always remember. You have had to trust in ways unimaginable, and you do it so willingly. The strength and fearlessness you possess is admirable. Grandma, you are beautiful and fearless. Thank you for teaching me the values I hold on to and for passing on traditions I won't ever let go. I love you, Grandma. Baby!
No. Adam was after me.
Adam.
No, Marielle was. Marielle's older than Adam.
Right.
Yep.
I would lay her in the den on a blanket. You know, I'd fold it like 2 blankets or something, make it soft. And when she was small, and lay her in there on a blanket and cover her up, and she'd take a nap. And she was probably maybe 9 months or something. But she would lay there, and I'd think, oh, sound asleep, and she looked just like a little angel.
Mm-hmm.
She did, just like a little angel laying there asleep. And I know I've got baby pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the scene on by the kitchen window. I would have the church and the figurines and stuff. And I can remember her standing there one Christmas Eve, just barely touching the figurine. And she stood there, you know, and it was just so precious to see her standing there looking at the figurines, you know, and barely touching them. And I know I have a picture of that too. But she just looked like, to me, again, just like a little angel standing there looking at this, you know. And now she's got her career. She's into college. I'm happy she's going into the nursing field, because I think it's a field that she can, if she's a mother and raises children, she can always go part-time and work, or she can always fall back on that. It's a great profession.
So, not a day goes by that I don't think about you. From every plate of food that I eat clean, to every ice cream sundae I load up with whipping cream and sprinkles, I think of our birthday trips to Mac's and Irma's and the Rivertown Mall. It still blows my mind to this day that someone like you would extend such a warm hand to walk me through the mall to shop. More times than none do I reminisce on carrying all the shopping bags filled with my gifts, not yours or my other cousins, just strictly mine. It was crazy. Today I stand to believe that my love language of gift giving is because of you, Grandma. The act of giving to me comes in the forms of buying gifts all the way to giving services. The reward for me is to see the person's reactions, which warms my heart. It's not only the reaction, but it's also knowing that the person will benefit from the help that I lended. I have a feeling the same goes for you too, Grandma, which is why you open your heart wide to all of your children and grandchildren, so you know you gave an effort to try to make our lives easier and more enjoyable. Life is a trickle effect in many ways. Your care and your love to your daughter Lori sculpted me into the man I am today. So thank you for that. Which will then affect me to raise my kids the same way, and so on. I adopted your quality of gift giving directly, which then affects my family, my girlfriend, and friends. Grandma, what I'm trying to say is that you are the biggest role model for me in my life, and inspire me to live and love the individuals in my life to the fullest and most caring way possible. Do not stop spreading your joy that you do day to day. Just the fact that I know you are when I'm not there with you makes me super happy.
So, yep. And then Adam.
Then Adam, the youngest.
Yep. Yep, he's the youngest. And when he was born, I was taking care of Jared and Ryan. And when Tim called and told me that it was a little boy, and Jared, and I told Jared and Ryan that their dad had called, and they have a little baby brother. And Jared went running around the house saying, "Raccoon, raccoon." And he's so happy, and he just kept running around the house. "Raccoon, raccoon." And I thought, raccoon? Why is he saying raccoon? Don't tell me he's going to call this baby raccoon. and I couldn't figure it out. So then when we took him up to the hospital, and to see their mom, and of course Tim was there, and I said to them, I said, was telling them about Jared running around saying raccoon, raccoon, and she said, we've been reading a book about a raccoon, and she said, I guess that must be where he got it from. Maybe he liked the book and he was so excited, but I thought that was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was a cute little blonde kid, and he always had, you know, this smiley type, I want to say a smiley type face somewhat,
Mm-hmm.
and happy, and of course his brothers watched that over him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and all three of them have gotten together, and, you know, really respected each other, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, he got into motocross racing, and that didn't end up good. And thank heavens he didn't go back into it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for that.
Yep.
He doesn't laugh a whole lot, but
That's how you know it's a good joke.
yeah, well, I know it. When Adam laughs, he laughs hard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's doing good, you know, finishing up at school, and he's been working hard at her books, and, you know, he's done very well.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And now I shouldn't say it maybe. He's supposed to be engaged, coming up. Yeah.
I'll leave that one out until next week.
Yeah. Until she gets the ring.
So I love you, Grandma. Mwah.
I love you, and you've been such a blessing to my life, and I'm grateful that you're Esther's great grandmother. So I love you.
And I just want you to know how much I love you, Grandma. That's all.
I love you forever.
Yeah, I just want to say that, and in return, I love you, and I look forward to all the other memories we can have together.
Love you and miss you, and definitely looking forward to the next time we get to see you. Love you, Grandma. Do you know how easy it is to edit stuff? It's like all this I'm saying right now is literally going to get cut off and forgotten.
I love you, Grandma, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.
I love you, Grandma.
I love you so much.
I love you, Grandma.
I love you, Grandma. This is Adam.
And I think all of my grandchildren have that knowledge and feeling within them. It's like, I want to help other people. And that's a great feeling to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are some I'll always remember.
And time flies.
Yeah, it does. Oh my gosh. Something. I know my mom was telling you to prepare something for each one of us, but when I came home, something I kind of kept a secret from you is I had each of the cousins prepare something for you that they wanted to say about you. So actually, I've been going around all week filming them, and I put it all
my
together.
gosh. Oh my word.
And it's
This part is always hardest for me to watch, and more so to sit here and edit. I remember how excited I was to show you the video. I will forever cherish being able to take on this little project. Watching what the cousins had to say about them and watching your reaction to it was nothing short of magical. It's painful to watch this video now with the knowledge that this was the last time I ever saw you. We both knew we might not see each other after that day. I could tell by the way you looked at me before leaving, which prompted a second hug, as I cling to the belief that we will be all reunited in heaven one day. The morning you passed, Nick called me to inform me since I was in Japan. I didn't cry then. A whole morning went by actually before I even shed a tear. I was swamped in work and didn't have much time to think until I got to lunch. I remember I was in line for chow and I began to think about why I was sad. I sat down and started to cut up my food and my hands started shaking so bad. I had to set down my fork and I just began to bawl. I wasn't sad for you passing because I had already accepted it and said my goodbyes long before I left. I was sad because I just wanted to be with my cousins. I knew Jared or Marielle could probably use a hug, and I also needed a hug. I am thankful that you and our parents raised us to find comfort when we are around family. Years and years of get-togethers ensuring no matter where I go, I will always long for family. I will always love and cherish our family because we choose joy over disease. Even through your battle, you kept a smile on your face. I am thankful for what God has done in our family. He healed Aunt Lori, he protected Xavier, and he raised my mom out of depression, along with countless other blessings. Death has no sting over our family. Even after your passing, the groundwork you laid of years and years of get-togethers means that I still get to look forward, even tonight, to go spend time with my cousins, which is, and always will be, the greatest Christmas gift that you ever gave.